Well, good day and welcome to episode 38 of The Driving Force presented by the Louisiana Transportation Research Center. My name is Todd Blunt and I am joined today by my friend, colleague, and co-host, Garrett Wheat.
Good morning.
We're so excited that you've chosen to join us as we highlight the trailblazing people and the groundbreaking projects driving change in Louisiana transportation. For the past 40 years, LTRC has merged the resources of state government and Louisiana universities to identify, develop, and implement new technologies that enhance critical aspects of the transportation system here across Louisiana and beyond. And today we are wrapping up what has been a really fun and super informative series with Louisiana DOTD's Structures, Maintenance, and Inspection Group. We've covered a ton of ground over our previous 4 episodes, and today we're going to finish it off with a discussion on the state's movable bridges, no doubt one of the more unique and interesting aspects of our infrastructure. So to tell us about these unique structures, along with a couple of other functions of this group that we haven't yet discussed, we're thrilled to welcome back Bridge Maintenance Administrator Haylye Brown, along with engineer Jason Michiels. Let's step away for a moment before we begin this really fascinating conversation with Haylye and Jason. Welcome back to The Driving Force. We are completing our mini-series today with DOTD's Structures, Maintenance, and Inspection Group, and we welcome Group Administrator Haylye Brown back to the show, along with Engineer Jason Michiels. Welcome to both of you. Jason, why don't you tell us about yourself as we get started? Where are you from? What and where did you study? And what's been your career path up to your current role with the department?
Yeah, I'm from Center Point, Louisiana. It's a little community about 20 miles away from Alexandria. Went to school in Marksville and then went to college in Louisiana Tech.
Okay.
Studied mechanical engineering, got my degree from Louisiana Tech, and ended up working in the HVAC industry.
Interesting.
Worked there for approximately about 9.5 years, and then moved to state government with DOTD. Spent about 3 years in the contracts and specs unit of DOTD before I moved over to bridge maintenance in 2016, and I've been in bridge maintenance ever since.
Okay.
Awesome.
Did you get tired of being up in those attics doing HVAC?
Well, yes, crawling through attics and crawling under and over things, and yes.
Nothing much has changed, Jason.
It's a different environment. Now I'm outside.
Yeah.
Climbing over bigger pieces of equipment.
Bigger equipment, less worries about budget being way over on a project because, it was all private funds or state funds at the time, and they were much more restrictive on what we could do with the budget that we had. It's much easier right now.
Gotcha.
So, Haylye, we suppose this is the final piece of this very large puzzle in what y'all call the Area 51 team. So can you explain how the work Jason and his group of partners, what the work they're doing supports the overall work of the section?
So Section 51, our primary purpose outside of serving as the program manager for the state's bridge inspection program is to serve as a expertise resource for the districts. So movable bridges, that's a complicated, they're complicated. They have electrical systems, they have mechanical systems. They're, the most expensive piece of equipment that DOTD owns and has to maintain. And they're really relied upon for marine industry and the people that live around navigable waterways. So Jason's group is very, very important. Districts have sometimes limited resources, maybe limited knowledge on trying to troubleshoot problems as they arise with movable bridges and those systems. And that's where his group comes in. They provide assistance. We can get emergency contracts put together. We can plan longer term projects for mechanical and electrical rehabs. And but it's a struggle because, again, limited funding, and I've got approximately 100 bridges that we have to split our resources among. So, but that's kind of why they're very important to our functionality, is we are the subject matter experts, I suppose.
Awesome. Thank you.
Well, Jason, let's kind of get going with the discussion of the ins and outs of these movable bridges. And why don't you give us a basic orientation as we begin? Like, how many of these bridges are in operation across the state? How many different types are there? And what's the purpose or advantage of placing a movable bridge versus a more traditional structure? So why would this even be a thing?
Like Haylye said, we have about 100 movables in the state, and they fall into 4 basic types. We have the vertical lift, where the movable span raises straight up in the air for a fixed distance. We have bascules, which is pretty much like what you see in an old medieval movie, where you have the drawbridge that raises up.
Okay.
Pretty much the same thing.
Didn't know that was the
Yeah, I didn't know
term.
we still have those things.
Those are not popular in our state, but like if you go to Chicago, they're very popular.
We have seven.
Yeah, but we have 30-something swings, so.
Well, the reason why we have so many of other types is because of the amount of land that's available
Yeah.
Okay.
in the
Correct,
areas where they're
correct.
built.
So we have pontoon bridges, which are the most difficult to maintain and operate, mainly because they open for any boat that comes through because they float on the water. So it doesn't matter if you're in a little John boat, you still have to get an opening just to pass through the
There's
bridge.
no going under.
There's no going under, no. So those usually operate
And then
around.
there's 2 different types of swings as well. Like
Yeah, well, that is considered a swing,
Okay.
but it's more, we call it a pontoon because that's really the heart of what it is. And then we have a traditional swing, which sits on a turntable basically.
Okay.
And swings usually about 90 degrees out of the way so boats can pass.
And those will look more familiar to you because they look more like a bridge, not a barge floating.
Yeah.
The pontoon
Yeah.
is a barge,
Oh, okay.
but they're
So-
safe.
Yeah, they're still good. The purpose of placing a movable bridge a lot of times is, like Haylye mentioned, land availability. It's whether you have to, if you either build this humongous high rise, let's say that needs like 75, 80 feet of clearance, or you build a swing bridge that has normally, maybe say 15 feet of clearance in the closed position, but then unlimited in the open position, you can pass anything through that bridge that you want. And you don't need as much approach bridge to make the height up because you don't have to go nearly as high.
So to just give you a visual on a bridge approach, okay, the Mississippi River, all of that leading up to the main truss, that's called the bridge approach.
Yeah.
So the higher you have to go, the more approach you need
Right,
because
right.
we try not to build these things at a 8-degree incline or 9. So.
Right. And with a movable, you don't have a lot of approach because you don't have to get it up really high. That's what the movable part's for.
And
It
most
takes
of
care
these
of
are
the height.
most of
basically.
these are placed where you have like roads on either side of the river too, right?
We have a lot like that, yeah. Down in the Homa area and in the south of Lafayette, like New Iberia area, yeah, where, say, Bayou Lafourche and Homa runs north-south. We have 308 on one side, LA1 on the other side, and these little bridges that cross the bayou at intervals. We have a lot of bridges down there.
Majority of our bridges are along the Intracoastal Waterway, so all of South Louisiana,
Yeah.
with a high concentration. I think, the Lake Charles area for South Louisiana has the least. District 3 is second, and then District 2, I think, has the most.
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And but
And
that's the bulk of it. So they each, how many does District 7 have? Like 20-ish? Less?
District 7? Like,
District 3 and O2 have like in the 20s to
yeah,
30s.
District 7 has like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
And is there ever any issue with like width, or that's really not a?
Sometimes we did get a request. Are you talking about for the Mariner or for vehicular traffic? Either one?
Either.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, well,
I
we
was thinking
have,
more Mariner.
so
but,
typically we have fender systems and they're there to guide the boats. This is the channel and it helps protect the bridge. And we did get a request one time, not too long ago, to see if we could remove the fender system so that they could fit through. And I'm like, I don't think you understand why the fender system is there.
Right.
And then sometimes for just oversized loads, a movable bridge is like pontoon bridges. Only in extreme cases would we allow that, and you have to be out there to pump water and drain water in the pontoon for that to work. But if it's a lot of these bridges are just a 2-lane bridge, so it could be an issue, but we usually get them around if they can't go that way, a wide load.
Gotcha.
Or a really heavy load.
Jason, is there anything unique about the inspection or the maintenance process of these structures? Like, are they governed by the same standards as the traditional bridges we've kind of been discussing?
Generally by the same standards, but it's a lot more in depth.
Okay.
Because you have electric motors, you have hydraulic cylinders, mechanical gearboxes. All of that stuff has to be checked by someone that's qualified to actually know what they're looking at. And that can be a challenge sometimes with our district staff that they generally know, but they wouldn't pick up on some of the finer details on it.
Yeah, if you don't see it all the time.
You do need a specialized team to really inspect these structures.
Yeah, I guess the electrical and mechanical components are that's a whole separate layer of
Absolutely.
expertise.
Yeah. I mean, that's why we have mechanical and electrical engineers that do
Yeah.
that work and do that inspection usually.
Let's talk about the economic importance and impact of these bridges. Like, how does having these structures in place enable commerce to happen more efficiently across the state? I know you said a lot of them are located along the intercoastal, and we have things coming offshore. But how does this kind of support economic development in the state?
By having these bridges on these navigable waterways, we allow all sorts of barge traffic. I mean, the intracoastal waterway is a huge avenue for navigation and shipping on up towards the northern part of the country.
Mm-hmm.
And without these bridges in place, if we had fixed bridges, we would be we'd be very limited on what we could get up past the coast.
Yeah.
So it's really a big deal. We work closely with the Gulf Intracoastal Waterway Association just to make sure that our bridges are operating, and if we need to do something special for them, we try to do whatever we can as well.
Okay.
How would these companies, I guess, go about asking to get a bridge open, and like, what's the manpower it take to open and close a bridge, I guess?
In normal operation, it's one person.
Per bridge?
Per bridge, yeah. They have a control house that they can operate the whole bridge from that control house.
Okay.
In order to get an opening, it kind of depends on the bridge.
Okay.
The Coast Guard tells us basically, we work with them on what a schedule is for that bridge. Some of those bridges have, mariners have to call 4 hours in advance to get an opening.
Oh, wow.
Then we have on signal, which means the boat can just call the bridge house at any time and say, hey, we need an opening, and we have to open. So it's really dependent on the amount of waterway traffic that we get,
Sure.
as far as what we do.
I'm not a big fisherman, but I know when we go down to like Lake Verret, the one down there on Bell River, it's like every hour on the hour.
Yeah. And it's all a negotiation with the Coast Guard.
Right.
It's a balance between car traffic and boat traffic that we have to work with.
That's true.
Also, like Bell River on the hour, or it sometimes has to do with the type of traffic on the waterway.
Okay.
So the USCG is always going to prioritize industry.
Right.
If it's recreational traffic, then you can start to set times of when we'll do openings, or if it's a call out, or it just depends. But funny story, I don't know that Jason had to do this, but when I first started in Section 51, I had to take training as if I were a bridge operator.
Oh, really?
So I had to learn all the, and to this day, you still have to operate this way. We have radios and cell phones, but you got to blow
process
your
is still the
horn
same,
still.
Right.
So it's like, I can't remember, the ship or the vessel might blow twice to notify the bridge operator, and then they acknowledge maybe 3 times about to open the bridge. And anyhow, but I had to take this training, but my gosh, that was almost 20 years ago. I mean, it's probably 17 years ago at this point. So I have to refresh myself in case I have to fill in for a bridge operator.
Well, that makes sense. You need to know how the bridge is going to work if you're going to maintain it too, so you know what they're dealing with.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And you're looking at a piece of equipment, you know, oh, this is what does X,
And
Y, or
it's
Z.
it's also safe. I think that anybody working on movable bridges, inspectors, staff need to take it, because when you're on the bridge, you hear the signals and you know they're gonna have to open the bridge, get to a safe spot.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
So
Well, you kind of just touched on the bridge operators in their house, but we also know y'all's section works with maintaining other DOTD owned facilities across Louisiana. For example, kind of mentioned it before, the rest area is located off the interstate highways. So what would the two of you like us to know about that aspect of y'all's work?
The rest areas are unique. We have mostly they're at entry and exit to the state. It's like maintaining your house, except you've got a bunch of people that walk in and out all day. So you've got plumbing issues or electrical issues that come up, and just like any other building, you have to renovate it every now and then.
Sure.
Sometimes that can be challenging to keep the rest area open and functional while you're still trying to renovate it and improve it. So I just ask people to be patient if we're in the middle of something like that, because we're doing the best we can to renovate, give them the services they need, and make it better for them in the process.
I'd say another challenge with rest area maintenance. So typically how it works is for any renovations or new construction, the facility group is going to oversee that. But maintenance, unless the district asks for help, if we need to do like a facility project, the district that the rest area is in, they're responsible for just some of the maintenance, because CRT actually operates the rest area. They're responsible for other parts of the maintenance.
Okay.
And each one's different, but the challenge is they are located, like you said, at our entry points.
Yeah.
There's nothing at our entry points. Everything is very rural.
Right.
So you do have water pressure problems, electrical problems, plumbing, because you're trying to get all this to a remote area.
Yeah.
And
We
did get
maintain our own wells at some of these water wells
goodness.
at some of these stations, standalone sewer systems. We have power brought in, and that's the only thing really that's brought in. Everything else is on site. So it's more of a challenge than just your average building in a city.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Is there any other type of facilities?
Well, DOTD owns approximately 900 buildings
Wow.
that the districts mostly maintain, and we supplement larger repairs and renovations through our budget.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
I had no idea when I came in that we owned that many buildings.
Well, every district, I would imagine.
Yeah.
all the
Has-
districts,
All the
maintenance
districts.
units,
Parish.
Yeah.
way stations now.
Oh, yeah.
It's maintains. But
Okay.
yeah, any building, if there has to be a project, it comes out of our, I don't know what you call it, major repair program.
Major repairs budget, yeah.
Well, before we wrap up this portion of our conversation, is there anything else that either of you would like to add? Like maybe something we didn't ask about that you'd want our listeners to know? Just want you to have an opportunity for a last word, and then we're going to transition to one other thing.
Yeah, I would like to ask people to be patient at our bridges. Our bridge operators are doing the best they can. They're trying to get the bridge open for boats and back close to cars as safely and quickly as they can. They are not trying to keep it open longer than they have to. So I just ask for patience, and then if we're doing work on a bridge, watch out for us on the road.
Yeah, that's
I
something we've
think-
heard a lot.
Sometimes the complaints we get, people think a bridge should open and close faster than it does, but
Right.
you have to understand.
It's a lot of weight.
It's a lot to be moving, and to get that bridge open and closed in just a couple of minutes. Now, keep in mind, I live in Baton Rouge. I'll sit at the same stoplight for almost 3 cycles sometimes. I mean, this is just
Yeah.
the nature of the beast on, where you live.
Right.
So
Yeah.
patience is key.
Yes.
I mean, just
Put on some music.
a little perspective. We're moving 500,000 pounds sometimes. Depends on the bridge, but just as to throw a number out there, it's a lot of mass and a lot of forces going on, so we can't get in a big hurry.
No.
And I think, in my mind, Jason can correct me if I'm wrong. I think a pontoon bridge, not only is it heavy, but it's got water resisting it because it's on the water.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
they
kinda.
might be a little slower.
Kind of acts as a sail because you've got this big wall, steel
Stopping the water.
wall, and then you've got also its depth below water. So you've got wind pressure and water pressure on it. So we really have to be careful with those because they can get away from you.
Makes sense. Well, thanks so much to both of you for being here today to share a little bit about the great things the two of you and your team is working on across Louisiana every day. Before we go, we want to have a little bit of fun with you. We have a couple of lightning round questions. Jason, you're going to go first. Garrett's got some prepared. And Haylye, you're not off the hook. I know it's your 5th episode, but we keep coming up with more questions
How
for
many
you.
more questions could you
So-
possibly have?
I can go all day. So, all right, go ahead, Garrett.
Yeah, thanks. Jason, sadly, we understand that you're allergic to shellfish. So,
Correct.
one, like, can you navigate what happens when you get invited to a crawfish bowl? Like, do you bring your own food? And then also, like, what's some of your favorite food outside of shellfish?
Gotcha. Yeah, it's a little challenging. Crawfish boils are, it can get away from you. You start noticing people touching stuff, and you're like, oh, I can't touch that because
Yeah.
they were just over there eating crawfish. It's a little challenging. Sometimes I will bring my own food. Most of the time, there's enough other food that I can find something to eat, so I don't really worry about that too much. What was the rest of the question?
What would be like your favorite
Oh,
alternative
favorite
food?
food? I really like gumbo and I like breakfast.
Okay, so you can still get some good.
Absolutely.
Southern-
Yeah.
He's a Brenner kind of guy.
All right.
Haylye, also, well, you kind of alluded to it too. You're native Central Louisiana. So can you share like what's your favorite or most underrated thing about that part of the state?
My favorite thing is that it's just large enough to be urban around the Alexandria area, but there's so much rural area and area to explore outside of it. I think that's great.
It is a really pretty part of the
It
state.
is, yeah.
Having been lucky enough to travel the whole state a lot myself, like the Kisatchie area is really
Yeah, I
pretty.
mean, I used to love, I drove back and forth to Louisiana Tech, and I drove through Kisatchie every time,
Yeah.
and it was great. That was my favorite stretch.
I will say Kisatchie is very pretty. Cutting back and forth to get to a list of bridges that we have to do QA inspections on.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, constantly cut through Kisatchie. It's very pretty.
You said you're from Center Point, and that's.
Is that the
I
center
don't.
point of
I
Louisiana?
don't get stumped a lot, but where is that in reference to Alexandria? He says about 20
Is it
minutes
20
out.
minutes?
It's
Yeah.
about, if you drew a line from Marksville to Alexandria.
Okay, so it's down that side.
between,
Okay.
Yeah,
Southeast-ish.
southeast, yeah.
Okay.
Been to Marksville, too. All right, Haylye, now that Jason's quote out of the room and we're 5 episodes in, can you tell us which one of your team members is your favorite?
Ooh.
I'm just kidding.
I was going to answer the question.
No, I'm just
Don't
joking.
answer that.
Well, you've alluded to like your history with DOTD before, and be careful how we ask this, I guess. But if you could or had to work in any other section in the department, where would you go and why?
The only time I really entertained leaving Section 51 was to be the bridge engineer in District 61. And I did not get that job. So fate kept me in Section 51.
There we go. All right. You sound like you enjoy it a lot.
I do. It's fun. Look, I'll be honest. At this point, if I leave 51, I'm probably leaving the department.
And going home.
It's just there's too much. It's entertaining. It's always problem solving. It
Yes.
keeps you busy. It's
Absolutely.
not boring.
Sure.
The day flies by. I mean, you get run ragged sometimes, but
Never a
that's-
dull moment.
it's hard
Never
to go. Like if you came up through a different part of the OTD, you're used to that. But it would be very difficult to leave 51 to go to another section because you're gonna lose and it's all bridge oriented.
Sure.
It's, except for facilities, but
Yeah.
it's all bridge oriented, and so it's very concentrated there. We don't have to get spread out. So other than like road design, bridge design, where it's very much just those topics, this is just like bridge design, but like in fast motion, fast forward. It's just busy, and you get to see the state. You get to see all the bridges,
And animals and people.
Yes.
animals, people, the local gentry.
Well, thanks so much again for taking some time out of your, what I know are very busy schedules, as we mentioned, to tell our listeners more about what you do and why it matters so much. I know I'm appreciative. I know Garrett is, and our listeners are, for all the work that y'all do. This has really been one of my favorite series to prepare and produce. I've learned a ton. I know our listeners have as well. So we're going to take a quick break before we come back to close out the show and the series. Well, that's all we have for you on episode 38 of The Driving Force, presented by the Louisiana Transportation Research Center. You can learn more about what's happening at LTRC on a daily basis by visiting us online at ltrc.la.gov or on social media through Facebook, X, LinkedIn, and YouTube. We encourage you to like, follow, and subscribe to our channels on each of these platforms. We also encourage you to follow and subscribe to this show on your preferred podcasting platform that helps others find us. Once more, if you want to learn more about what Haylye and Jason have shared with us today, we encourage you to visit their group's page on the DOTD website. We'll provide a link to that site in the show notes. And on our next episode, we're going to come back home to LTRC for the first time in a while, and we're going to kick off a series of episodes featuring our outstanding geotechnical and pavement research groups. Till then, we're your hosts, Garrett Wheat and Todd Blunt, and we thank you so much again for joining us today. Drive safely out there.